and bad decisions. And I was getting slapped on the wrist. I kept, breaking in cars. I was stealing. I just wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I did play sports in school. I managed to finish high school. And when I graduated from high school, 6 months later, I was sentenced to life in 20 with no parole, and I was sent to the Maryland Penitentiary. And from that day on, I was 19 years old. And I just look back on the choices and decisions that I made. I really didn't take my life too serious. And as a direct result of that, I just found myself making bad choice after bad choice after bad choice. And then here I am fighting for my life, 19 years old, waking up in a man's institution, serving a life sentence with no parole, trying to figure out what all happened. How did I continue to make the same mistakes, looking for different results? And it just didn't happen. So I just want to encourage you, man, that when you decide to make the decisions in your life, you need to stop and think for a minute. Am I making the right choice or am I making the wrong choice? Because for me, I kept making the wrong choice, and I didn't take my parents, I didn't take my mother for serious. I listened to what she said, but I continued to go out there in the community and do the things that I wanted to do. I was fascinated by the lifestyle of being out there in the projects, guys selling drugs, driving nice cars. But what I didn't realize was at some point in time, a lot of those guys are going to be dead. They're going to prison for the rest of their life. And it was no life. And I just want you to know that your life is very precious. You don't have a lot of time to waste in doing a lot of negative stuff that really doesn't mean you any good. You have to really stop and think. It took me all these years being in prison to reflect back on my life and the decisions that I made and realize that I never thought on my own. I always listened to what someone else said. And people that came along had something positive to pour into my life. I really didn't pay them any mind because I had already had my mind made up that the only people that I was going to listen to was the people that was out on the streets, the people that were doing the things that I like to do. And find myself, here I am now fighting for my life. I ended up doing 27 years before that judge decided that he wanted to let me go. But the transformation started while I was away. But what I would say to you all is that you don't need to wait till you go to prison and then trying to turn your life around. My life for me has been very difficult since I've been home. It's hard to get jobs. You're always going to have that stigma on you that, you're ex-con, and people not going to want to give you a chance. So you need to stop and think about those choices and those decisions that you make and realize that the people who are pouring into your life, such as Mr. Wade, and listening to a lot of these youth programs and realizing that these men are only trying to help guide you through life so you won't have to fall into those traps that life is setting out there for you, because those are nothing but traps. All those decisions and choices that you make and things that look good out there, man, to be honest with you, none of that stuff is not good. All that stuff is a delusion. It has you believing, all the nice cars, the jewelry, the girl, all that stuff is an illusion. And you're never going to make it in life if you try to take the shortcut like I did. I tried it every which way but the right way. And as a consequence, I found myself, and I'm one of the fortunate ones that's able to come home. 3 of my buddies died in prison. They got stabbed up. I got one of them that was on death row. Now he's just doing life with no parole. So, I mean, all the guys I ran with, that's the life that we chose. But you all don't have to choose that life. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing glamour about it. There's no way to win in it. You're always going to lose, and you don't want to be a loser. So I'm just letting you know today, you're talking to someone that have walked that walk. I have talked that talk. I'm tried, I'm proven, I'm tested, and I'm telling you that doing negative things is not the way. It's not going to work. So I just encourage you to continue doing the positive things that you're doing, because that's the only way that you're going to make it in society.
A way to get this thing started, Mike. Appreciate it. Hey, you all heard from Mike. I mean, a lot of you all know my background. Retired from the Prince George's County Police Department 2 years ago. Did 23 years in several, assignments while I was there. So that's my background. You all heard from Mike. So again, when I say we call ourselves the odd couple on our podcast, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. And I want to go right back to this choices and decisions, Mike. Let's sit on this for a second, because you said 27 years later, man, when that judge made a decision and said, you can be released and all that good stuff. You always tell that story. But for the young men, let's talk about the turnaround. Okay, let's take a minute to sit on this right here, fellas, because it's all about the turnaround again. Because we've all made bad choices and decisions in lives. All right, some of us never got caught. Okay, all right. Some of the choices and decisions we made were forgiven. Okay, sometimes some choices and decisions are not forgiven, fellas. All right, so that's why Coach Wade wanted to have this conversation with you all again, because the faster you all understand and learn this, the better you all are going to be. Okay, it's all about you being accountable for your choice and your decision. You're gonna hear me say being accountable a lot during this next half hour as we continue to talk, because that's what it's about. And when you're accountable, man, it's no excuses. The days are over of always being the victim, playing the victim. You dig what I'm saying? I understand everybody come from some serious circumstances. Some of you all on this call right now, man, have gone through more in your lives if you're 15, 16 than I've ever gone through. And I'm a grown man, okay? But we're going to stop playing the victim, okay? And I will tell you right now, don't let your current circumstances dictate your future and where you're going. All right? Let it motivate you, but don't let it dictate you, okay? Let it be your motivation, fellas, and let's get this thing going, okay? We got to do it for ourselves, for our families, for our generation, most importantly right now for everything that's going on, our communities as well, all right? Hey, so Mike, 27 years later, bro, Judge, you said, man, he was going to let you get out. It's all about that turnaround. Tell the guys, if you could, just how, that process worked for you and how you decided, when you decided to turn around, and just, how successful it was, at least that last time. Maybe some other times as well, but just tell that story as well if you could.
I like to say I tried that turnaround about several times during my incarceration. And then I realized that something I wasn't doing, because I kept doing the same things. And one day I can recall walking around the prison yard, and I had done about 15 years at this time. And something dawned on me that if you want to go home, then you need to do everything in your power to make it possible. So when that opportunity comes, that you can be ready to walk right through that door. And what I started doing is I started evaluating myself. I started looking into why I continue to do the same things and looking for different results. I had to realize why I kept hanging around the same guys that want to do the same things, talk about the same stuff. All my relationships was always about who had it, who was making the money, who got robbed, who got stuck up. I said that they're going to be the day that I'm not going to have those type of conversations. I'm going to start having positive conversations and talking with guys that are trying to get out of prison. Because the judge called me an animal. When he sentenced me, he said, you're an animal, and as long as I'm on the bench, you're never going to get released. You see, I had established that type of reputation that I couldn't be trusted, that I would rob anything, steal anything. And that's not the picture that I wanted to be portrayed of me moving forward. And I said, today is the day that I'm going to turn things around. I started getting involved in a lot of self-help groups. I really started working on myself. I wasn't really a dumb dude. I did finish high school, and around 1988, Coppin State College was coming in the institution, and I signed up for school. I graduated in 1992 with a bachelor's degree in applied psychology. And I realized, man, that I really was smart. I really wasn't a dumb dude. So I pivoted off of that, and I started, getting involved in a lot of prison activities, helping with the family days. and all of that. So around my 25th year, I had lost my last case, and this lady was in the courtroom, and she took my case for free, and she said, I'm going to talk to the prosecutor, and then we're going to talk to the different wardens. So I think by this time, I was transferred about several different institutions. And so by this time, she went and talked to the prosecutor, and I had gotten into a fight, and I get a letter a couple of days while I was on lockup, and it told me that I'm going to take your case, fill out these papers, and I'm going to try something new. And I tell you that day when I came off of lockup and I was able to go back outside again, I said, God, I'm tired. I mean, I'm tired of doing time. I don't want to be in here anymore. If you give me another chance, I'll show you that I won't be back. I won't continue doing the things I'm doing, and I work with young folks. And I tell you, I get a letter back telling me that I'm going back to court on my birthday. The same judge that sentenced me to life in 20 with no parole was the same judge that said, today, Mr. Stanley, is your day. I'm going to release you. I'm going to take all that time back. And I tell you, man, it was a burden lifted off my shoulders. I was so happy and fortunate that I was one of the ones that made it out. Because so many guys just don't make it. And until you make that change, until you make that transformation in your life, that you're sick and tired of the way your life is, and you want to make something better for your life, you have to do it. The judge told me that you had no reason to do good. You wasn't coming home anyway. But that's what man say. God has different things. So you have to do good anyway. Don't worry about how bad your situation is, how bleak things may appear. Continue to do good because you never know who's watching. And believe me, somebody is always watching what you're doing. And when that day came, I came out, and I've been home now for 15 years. And I have been doing the right thing. Trouble is not an option. I continue to keep my head on straight. I continue to walk one foot before the other and continue to do the right thing. And I'm just encouraging you, no matter how bad it may seem, how difficult your situation may be, get up, dress up, show up, and don't ever give up.
There you go. Hey, Mike, hey, fellas, this is why I take Mike with me wherever I go. Hey, Mike is my protector. Mike is my protector. He's my right-hand man. He's my muscle. And, when he speaks from the heart. It speaks from his life experience. And, fellas, I'm here to tell y'all right now, Mike has a tremendous testimony. We all have a testimony. And you know what? Whenever you get free from that bondage or whatever might be holding you down, you can share that testimony. That's what it's about. Because a lot of folks are going through the same stuff you all are going through, okay? But if you can be that voice to try to help them change, that's what we need right now, okay? And Mike kept saying as he was talking, you, okay? You have to change. You have to want to do it. So again, that goes back to that accountability that I keep talking about, all right? And again, fellas, man, it's about changing your mindsets, man, okay? It's about changing your hearts. We have to do it, okay? All right? We have to do it. The younger we do it, the better off we'll be. And that's what it's about right now, okay? But again, we talking life choices with my man, Mike Stanley, Impact Organization. And again, I stay in my lane. We go down to Cheltenham Youth Detention Center. And once we start talking these topics, we do it just like we're doing it now. I mean, I stay in my lane. I talk about my life experience. I could talk about that all day long. And when it comes down to talking like a topic that we're speaking on today, Mike takes it away, okay? So we're going to continue with that. Hey, one thing, Mike, I'm going to pivot to, man, is, the term that's been used, especially a lot lately, with going on with all the reform, the systematic and the systemic racism, and, how everything's is a system and how everything's in place. And Mike, let's talk a minute about the school to prison pipeline. I'm going to just toss that in there, all right? We're going to give this to them for free. Wasn't even expected. Something I just said we're going to toss in. We're going to give it to them at no charge, Mike. So as you said, you graduated from high school, and then pretty much you went straight to prison, okay? There's always statistics floating around by the time folks in the 3rd, 4th grade, especially in the Black community, it's going to determine the prison population. and how many beds they're going to need, you know, how many mouths they need to feed. So fellas, it's already determined, 3rd, 4th grade, you know what I mean, reading levels, grade levels, all that good stuff, whatever system they want to use, okay, to determine again in the future how many folks are going to be housed in the prison, all right? Hey, so Mike, let's talk about that for a minute, bro. Speak on that, man, the school to prison pipeline.
You know, this school to prison pipeline is very serious. Like you say, they are tracking us from the 4th grade and tracking our behavior. I mean, I was just reading something not so long ago in Baltimore City that a lot of the kids in school don't even know how to read and write. And that's what they banking on. We have private prisons out here that the CEOs of the prisons are petitioning the courts, suing the courts because they saying they're not getting enough bodies to fulfill these obligations that somebody promised to them that they was going to have these jail cells filled up. And so, you know, we have to really be mindful of the fact that education is so important, and the only population of people who they looking at are African Americans. And because they realizing that we're not, you know, the system wasn't designed for us. It was designed against us. And sometimes that's why we having a lot of issues. Sometimes we understand a lot of the fathers are not in the households. The mothers are doing the best job they can. And even all teachers are not bad. But I mean, we have to do a better job of educating our kids so they won't go to the left when they should be going to the right. I mean, it's very important that people like us, you know, Coach Wade, Jacob's Ladder, that we continue to pour into these kids' lives and get them to understand the importance of getting that education, importance of making good grades in school, because that pipeline to prison is very vivid. It's alive, and just look around at what's going on in our communities today with all these young guys teaming up together to go and shoot somebody, and these innocent little kids getting shot. Just to have the mindset of putting that pistol in your hand and going into your own communities and want to kill your own Black people, I mean, that's a serious issue within itself right there. So we definitely have to be mindful. And when we have friends, we have to talk to them. You have little brothers. For the young men that has little brothers, I mean, you have to help with your little brother. You have to make sure that he's doing the things he's supposed to do, because it's very important that we not just look out for ourselves, that we look out for these young boys. Because again, you know, these guys is out here committing these crimes and shooting these people were the same. They were 4 and 5, 6 years old themselves. And because maybe they didn't get the guidance that they should have gotten, or decided to choose the life that they chose now, just look at it now. I mean, we having a very difficult time with our young boys now, trying to keep them intact. And now we have so many of them locked up in prison, I'm saying for murder charges. And a lot of them don't even have a high school diploma, don't even have a GED. A lot of them can't read and write, 17, 18, 20 years old. So we really have to take this education piece very serious. And for those of you that are struggling, you have to reach out to somebody and ask for help. It's all right to ask for help. You'd rather ask for help than not to get help and find yourself in a situation where you don't want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, that's why I salute Coach Wade for what he decided to do. I mean, he was with the public school system, started royalty, and, you know, I mean, from ground up. And believe me, it wasn't easy. And, you know, and right now, still ain't easy, you know, challenges, dilemmas all over the place. But I encourage you all, everybody that's on this video session today, to embrace what he's doing, okay? Everything he's doing, everything he's trying, okay? Embrace by bringing myself, Mike Stanley, on this afternoon to talk to you all about this issue and concern that he has, okay? He's pouring out from his heart when he called me and said, can y'all come on and talk to the guys about choices and decisions and what's going on, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, just from, you know, I mean, I have a son, 24, daughter, 28. I mean, they're doing well, but I'm gonna tell you right now, we are all facing some anxiety right now. no matter who you think you are, if you're Black and you live in the Black community. We're all affected, okay? I have a lot of passion, man. I'm from Prince George's County, man. I got a lot of passion for everything in the DMV, in particular PG, Prince George's County. And I mean, I'm affected right now, okay? Like I said, man, I was the police for 23 years in Prince George's County. Man, I'm hurting right now for a whole lot of different reasons. I got a lot of emotions going on through me. Whenever I have to talk to my son, again, I was the police. Whenever I got to talk to my son right now, again, 24, time and time again, at least every other month, reminding him what he needs to do if he gets pulled over by the police, it's starting to get emotional to him. These conversations, I mean, are real. White folks they don't need to have these conversations, man. We do, all right? So we do go through a different set of, issues that other folks don't go through in society. This thing is real. And the older you get, the more you see it, the more it bothers you, the more emotional you can become. And it's causing anxiety in the Black community, okay? And what I will say, going back about systematic and the system, and just how everything is built and, the foundation and how it's structured. It's structured for this, man. All right? The Black community, man, we lack opportunities because we lack economics, okay? We lack a quality education, okay? Hey, fellas, we can go on and on about this, but, we're not here for that kind of session today. But this thing is set up and structured that way for us to be frustrated, angry, full of anxiety, and again, as I said, as we started, to lack hope, okay? And once all that stuff sets in, man, we can't take another hit. We can't take another Black young man to get shot, killed, or hurt by the police. We can't take another hit. We are to that point. Right now, we're to a breaking point. The Black community, the Black society, we can't take another hit, man. That's just where we are. That's why all the anxiety and the frustrations are here. And this thing is real. And Coach Wade wants you all to make sure that you all aware of it. Not too sure what kind of conversations you all are having in the households, with parents, loved ones, but he's making sure this opportunity is here for you all today, okay? So when it goes back to all this frustration, anxiety, again, fellas, hope. And when hope is lost, man, we would do anything. You dig what I'm saying? That's why folks resort to violence, okay? That's why folks resort to committing crimes, all right? Because they have to survive. And when you get in that survival mode, you would do anything to survive, okay? Just want to make sure y'all understand that. Hey, Coach Wade, we're going to talk about, gun violence in the Black communities. But we said a whole lot. I want to see if you got anything in the chat, if the fellas want to just open up a little bit, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
Yes, sir. No, I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate everything in regards to accountability for the guys and not using circumstance as a crutch. Hope is definitely something that we spoke about a lot of times, and I think they need to hear it from more than one person. I know for me, I need to hear it from different people. It definitely becomes frustrating. So, to hear other people talk about how they deal with those things are important.
Hey, fellas, anything? Just jump in.
I got a question.
Go right
ahead. This one from Michael, Mr. Stanley. My question is,
who is this?
Nigel.
Hey, can you turn your background down? How you doing, Nigel? How you doing, bro?
I think he's going somewhere quiet.
Okay, all right, you can get yourself together. That's fine. That's fine. Anybody else want to jump in while he's adjusting? All right, we'll wait for Nigel. I appreciate Nigel for, jumping in and participating. We want this to be interactive, man.
How you doing? I got a question. Moses here.
Go ahead, Moses.
This question for Mr. Stanley. How was your transition and getting back into the world after 27 years? Like, how was that transition for you? How did you focus on staying on the right path?
I appreciate the question. And what I did for myself was I really prepared myself before I actually touched down. And by the time I came home, I was already had my mind prepared that I wasn't going back. And I knew it was going to be a long road ahead of me. And also I had good family support. You know, I had my mother, my grandmother. I'm the middle of 5 boys. So I had my brothers there. And I took my time. I didn't go back to the old neighborhood. And I think that's some of the problem with a lot of brothers. They don't have nowhere to go. So they go right back into the same community where they come from. And then a lot of times they start looking at what's happening and then be believing that they can get back into it and fall back into the trap. But for me, I made my mind up that I wasn't going to go back. I'm going to get me a job and I'm going to work and I'm just going to take my time and do the things that I should have done before I made those bad decisions.
Hey, Naj,
I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for the
Hello?
question. Naj, you had a question?
Yeah, this is Mr. Stanley. My question is like, let me see how I can put this. Well, I got 2 questions. All right, the first one is like, how did they treat you when you were behind bars?
You know, I'll say this. Most times by the time a young man goes to prison, his mindset is already of a prison mindset. You know, I heard George Jackson once say that prison requires minimum adjustments because most time we living out here in the streets, we living in prison. And so when you get in there, it's the same old stuff, same old crap, you know, the fighting, the stabbings, the roaches, the mice, you know, everybody clicking up in gangs. So, you know, so my adjustment was pretty easy because my mindset was still there.
And my next question is, like, after getting out of jail and stuff, was it hard to start, like, when it comes to jobs and stuff like that? And then people
Yes, I tell you, once you get a criminal record, it's almost impossible to get the kind of jobs that you may want because I'm saying you have that record and you have to be ready to go to work. And sometimes you're just not ready to go to work. I've had, of the 15 years I've been out here, maybe my first 7 years, I had at least 5 jobs, and a lot of them, they hired me before they did the background check. So once the background check came back, they told me that they had to let me go. So you almost have to invent yourself. You have to be strong-minded and say, hey, you know, it's difficult getting jobs, but you don't stop applying for jobs. But then you get to a point you're not going to take certain jobs. And I mean, you know, once you get a certain age and whatnot, as I was getting older, but it is so hard to get a job, you know, having a criminal record. People don't want to hire you, and all depends on what you went to prison for. You know, I went in for murder, you know, and some people out here trying to get jobs with armed robberies and stuff like that. So it's been very difficult. It's still difficult today. You know, I'm pretty much doing a number of things, trying to make ends meet, and it's been a struggle, and it still is a struggle. And that's why I encourage you to, you know, you want to work hard now and you can play later. But if you play now, you're going to have to work later and it just don't work out.
Any other questions? Great questions so far, guys. Any other questions?
I got one for you, Mr. Jordan.
Go ahead.
How has the Jacob Lattimore been for you? Like, how has that experience been for you? Do you like it? What has it done for you and your family and your future?
Hey man, I absolutely love it. Thanks for asking. Hey man, I'm living the dream, man. And when I say that, I started Jacob's Ladder, man, when I was in the homicide unit. And the reason I started it is because I was so tired of seeing young black men getting murdered, young black men doing the murders. And, you know, it was the same story when they came in, man, when I'm sitting interviewing them, getting statements. And I said, I got to make a personal, you know, challenge to myself to bridge this gap. Okay. So what can I do? All right. I've always coached in the community, always been tremendously involved in the community. I said, but I got to do something right now. I have to do something more from what I'm seeing. So I started Jacob's Ladder. This was, I guess we started like 7 years ago, but we really started putting everything into motion. Everything got cranked up about 4 or 5 years ago. And I've never been so blessed in my life, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. We're pouring into young lives. We're saving souls. We're saving the community, bro. We're strengthening families. We're going down, like I said, we're going behind bars, providing hope. Hey, when I say all that, Mo, we doing God's work, man. We feed the homeless. We clothe the naked. You understand what I'm saying? We can go down the Bible about what we're doing, but to make a long story short, we're doing God's work. And when you do his work, you're going to get rewarded. And right now, my life is just so rewarded, man. It's just beyond belief, okay? That's why we have to share this energy. That's why I have to share my time. That's why Mike Stanley jumped on, okay? Because this is what we're doing. And we hope you all are embracing it and getting all this stuff, man, because it's for real. All right? We're volunteering our time, coming on talking. Okay, everything we're doing is from the heart. So we want to make sure that you all are receiving this. That was a great question. I would encourage anybody and everybody out there that's listening right now, try to find your passion. It's crazy. My passion is my community and young folks. Understand and find your passion, and that's your purpose in life. So right now, I'm walking all up in my purpose. You can't go wrong, okay? Do it, fellas. Pull back into this community. Open up your hearts, man. Change your minds. It's going to take you so far. It's going to blow your mind. Thanks for that question. Anything else, guys? Open up. If not, we'll move on, but open up. I'm going to encourage you all to make sure you're checking your mentals, all right? Make sure you have your mental health together, your emotions together. It's critical. Again, that's how we start making choices and decisions in life, all right? Hey, fellas, let's leave all the weed alone. I'm going to say that again for the folks sitting in the back of the room, all right? Let's leave the weed alone. Let's put down all these pills. It's real quiet. Let's make sure we ate all that lean, that purple. We're not, hey, look, let's get it together.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's time to do it, guys. Hey, the time is now. The Black community, man, we got to stop wasting time. That's what we've done. Those days are over, man. I know some of you all are too young. Some of y'all might be 18 years and can vote. You might be 18 years old. I'm not sure. If you all, make sure you can vote. Get out there, man. We need it. We're right now in such a critical point of society and the nation, and especially in our communities. We have to make the difference. Encourage your family. Man, get out there. No excuses. Come November 3rd, I don't care how long the lines are. Go vote. This serious stuff here, man. This is why we came here today. We wanted to come sit right there in somebody's living room, right? And this afternoon, we wanted to sit right in your living room and have a one-on-one conversation, despite all these spaces y'all are having. We want to make sure we touching each one of you. Let's pivot. Gun violence in the Black community, all right? Hey, listen, these days, man, the guns are out of control. Well, it's real quiet. Hey, the guns are out of control, all right? These days, I mean,
why you say that though?
What's that?
Why you say guns? But what if this world crazy nowadays?
Okay.
So sometimes you gotta keep that thing on you if you live in a hard city. No matter if you an athlete, no matter if you a AB student, no matter nothing. You net protection.
Okay.
You might live in that tough city when you gotta keep it on you.
All right. This is what I'm going to encourage you to do, and I'm feeling it. Okay. I understand why folks would say that. I understand why folks would have that mindset. What I'm going to encourage you to do is get out of that environment, okay? by getting your education, by ensuring you get a job, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I mean, you know, if and some folks feel that way. Some folks feel that they have to carry a gun, all right? But I tell you what, I mean, there are consequences, absolute consequences for that, to carrying that weapon, especially if you're carrying it illegally. I will tell you this, if you feel as though you need to carry or get a weapon, get it properly. Get it registered. You do what you need to do. Just don't carry a pistol just for that mindset, I got to carry something. Whatever you do in life, make sure it's legal.
Who was that question? Yeah, that was Tajon that just asked you.
Okay, go ahead.
But my question is like, not even a question, just a statement, I guess. It's like, what I noticed is, as an African American, or what I've seen on the news and stuff like that, even if it's legal, say like police, they're still taking it upon themselves to act out, like to, what is it called? I'm trying to find the word, like, they feel like they got too much power. They do too much with their power. So, as African American, even if we have a legal gun, they see it, they shoot it.
I understand that. You know what? Maybe we need to have a second conversation. Maybe I need to bring some police officers on. All right, and we can have a conversation about that, so we can have, you know, followed up, because you have a point. Like you said, some of them shoot first. You know, it's a lot of factors that go into it. Now, I would love to have that conversation so everybody can try to get educated, understand, and not only just what I'm not saying you all, even the police officers. Okay. So this is where we are right now in the society. That's why we got to have these conversations. I mean, because this group right here, you all will be great for being like, I mean, a junior advisory board for local law enforcement, okay? You can tell them exactly how you feel. We can make that thing happen. You all can affect change, okay? Because you have a point. Some police officers abuse their privileges, okay? I ain't gonna deny that. A lot of them do, okay? But what I would say, make sure you're being as legal as possible when it comes down to anything you're doing, all right? Hey, Big Mike, jump in.
Sure.
Go ahead, you saying something?
Yeah, jump in, bro, if you got anything.
I don't want to say something. You know, the problem is with carrying a gun is this. First of all, you're not allowed to carry a gun. And second of all, a lot of the young boys are on drugs while they carrying a gun. So your thought process is not even in the right mindset. And just look around and see who's getting shot with the guns. I mean, you having a beef with a guy across the street, a guy around the corner, and you're shooting him, or you miss him and you shoot a little kid. So, I mean, I understand how difficult it is to be living in the neighborhood and you feel you have a gun. But when we check a lot of these guys' background, a lot of them haven't finished school. I mean, there's so many other things that you can do than to get to the point where you want to put a pistol in your hand. And a long story short, most time when you carry a gun, sooner or later, somebody gonna get shot. Or sooner or later, the police gonna run down you, right. And even though you haven't took the gun out to do anything with it, the fact that the police see the gun and the times that we living in right now, it's a possibility, a real strong possibility that you probably would get shot. So it's not beneficial for you to use the neighborhood as an excuse to put a pistol in your hand. And then somebody might give you a gun, they done shot 2-3 people on it. You get arrested, they run ballistics, find out the gun got 3 murders on it. Now they holding you, and now you forced to make a decision. Do I snitch on the guy that gave me the gun? Or do I just shut up and deal with the consequences? So you need to think about all that. It's not just simple carrying a gun. There's so many issues with carrying a gun. But if you look at your life and realize that, man, I haven't done anything in my life, but yet I'm putting a pistol in my hand. So you asking for nothing but trouble.
Any other questions, concerns, thoughts? We got about
Can we have Tajon respond to that, Mr. Jordan?
What was that?
Can we have Mr. Fox respond to that?
Yes, go ahead. Tajon, take it away.
Tajon.
You still here?
Probably not.
Yes, sir.
Coach Wade, go ahead.
Respond to what Mr. Stanley just said.
Can you repeat the question, please, sir?
It wasn't a question.
Can you repeat what you said?
What I was saying was, you say, you know, you need a gun to carry in the neighborhood. Well, the issue with carrying a gun in the neighborhood, number one, you're not allowed to carry a gun. And number two, you probably, and people that's carrying these guns are dropping pills, smoking weed. And so chances are, normally that gun is being used on another black person who's living in your community. And when you look back, let's say I gave you a gun, but I already done shot 3 people with the gun. So you get caught with the gun. And now you sitting at the police precinct and they say you charged with 3 murders. And now you forced to either snitch on me or you gonna sit in jail and I guess don't say anything. So what you gonna do about that?
I wasn't saying like I had a gun. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all try to say I got a gun and I'm on block with a gun. Nah, I'm not saying like that. I would try to tell him like, I'm all right. He said if I get caught with a gun and 3 bodies on it, I'm not gonna snitch on my man though. If I was in that predicament, I'm not gonna tell my man. I'm gonna take that bid as a man. Cause that gun on me now. He gave it to me, so I gotta take the charge now because I wanted it. So I can't tell on him. So I gotta take the charge. He got cool on me. Now him got cool on me. So I gotta take them 3 bodies on that gun.
But that's the risk. But you see the risk you take by carrying a gun when you don't know where these guns have came from. But of all the things that you can do, like I say, if you don't want to be in the community, I mean, you can have a conversation with your mother like, hey, Mom, you think we probably can move up out of here or something when I finish school or whatever situation is. So it's so many other avenues that you can take as opposed to having a gun. Because I'm saying, even if you're walking around with a guy that has a gun, you need to say to yourself, man, I need to get away from him. Because sooner or later, something is going to happen. Me and him walking and he get in a beef and he shoots somebody. Then here I am, you didn't do anything. You going to jail too. So you need to use your brain and start thinking about when you talk about a gun, because a whole lot comes with carrying a gun. A whole lot comes with it.
Hey, Tajon, I'm gonna encourage you, man, even to shift your mindset and everybody else on this session today. And because you all are younger, okay, and you know, education, get your education, get a career, get a job, think entrepreneurship, start your own business. And just like you said, some folks feel like they need to do it just to survive in the neighborhoods, environments that they live in. I'm encouraging you to get yourself up out of there. Okay? Get yourself up out of there, man.
Mr. Right? Jordan, can I say something to that as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's for all you guys. I think most of y'all know how I think, so I won't talk too much. But I think one of the fundamental problems is that the same Bladensburg I grew up in, the same Landover my friends grew up in, you all are currently growing up in. The same trials and tribulations, the same issues. At some point, somebody has to change our community. Somebody has to do something impactful to make sure that Bladensburg Road isn't the same Bladensburg Road where people feel like they need to carry guns for the sake of carrying a gun. That's the purpose. That's something that has to change. The reality is you're not facing a reality that 50, 60, 70 years of people in the DC metropolitan area haven't had to face. My problem and issue with society as a whole, and even with y'all, is that no one changes it. Everyone is totally fine saying, hey, I got to have a gun, or I might need to have a gun, or this, that, and the third, which is all an excuse. I've never felt the need to hold a gun, and I grew up down the street from where most of y'all live. It's foolishness. But that's just my opinion. and my opinion is way too strong for most of you. But change the community you live in. Stop crying about it. Stop being okay with the realities you face, and create different ones where you live. Be where your feet are. Stop trying to look for everything to be roses. It's not that. This is the world. There are kids in Cambodia who can't eat. There are kids in India dying. There are kids in Africa who are suffering from malaria and passing out. Suck it up and do the work. Sorry.
I got a question for Coach Wade.
I really don't know if I want to answer one of your questions. Most of them blow me. I won't lie. But
Nah, this one ain't gonna blow you, Coach.
I promise it will, but go ahead.
When y'all would like change the community, right?
Mm-hmm. Nobody changed the community for me. I was smart enough.
For our generation, it's good. Like y'all said to the community, you can't go in community and tell all these kids to put their gun down. Like just put the gun down, stop the violence. No child is gonna say, "Oh, I'm putting my gun down."
Why? Then the question is why?
Because some people out here is really beefing to the point they cannot lie. They can't sleep. They can't look. They got to keep up protection. They can't turn it back. Or
that's going to what Mr. Jordan was talking about when you have a hopeless situation. There is nothing anybody in Kentland has that's worth beefing for your life over. The socioeconomic wealth in Kentland ain't high enough. We arguing over street corners we don't own. You don't even own the liquor store. What are you beefing over? The rec center, you don't own anything. It's the stupidest thing in the world. You need to be strapped up for something you don't own. If you're going to die for something worth it. Own a store, carry a gun, shoot somebody if they loot your store. I might support it. You fighting over a community that ain't even yours. When they lock you up, the next stupid person will come sell drugs and get locked up. And to answer your original question, nobody changed the community for me. I literally grew up in the exact same community you are growing up in now, around the corner. It looks the exact same. I didn't make excuses. But again, one thing God has shown me is I cannot expect myself in other people. But I don't see an excuse. When I said there was a problem with gun violence, I took the kids who I thought would be most apt to get a gun and put them in football. It wasn't hard. I didn't say, hey, let's go move to Montgomery County. I left Clinton because of that. Clinton was too far for me. So, no, I don't believe in woe is me attitudes. I don't believe in pity. Again, most of you know how I think, but hearing I ain't got no other word for it. The stupidity of needing to carry a gun to protect something that is not yours does not make sense to me. In a community where there isn't anything. Nobody in Kentland has wealth. Nobody riding down Palmer Park making no serious money. What are you fighting over?
How you know that though, Coach? How do you know?
Because I understand government statistics. I know what what a community socioeconomic status is. I can tell you the socioeconomic status there isn't higher than it is in Montgomery County or Beverly Hills or Orange County, New Jersey. I read books.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna jump in just like Coach was saying, as I was saying in the beginning, man. That's Tajon. That's about that hope, bro. It all goes back to it. That's what it all goes back to, man. Hey, look, I would encourage you to change your mindset when it comes down to this. All right, and all the young folks in our communities. Okay, and you want to affect positive change, Tajon. You want to affect positive change, man. You want to leave a legacy. You don't want your kids and your grandkids to think that same thought, bro. We got to
have that same reality, to have that same situation, set of circumstances.
Yeah.
God didn't give me some of y'all the talent to change that, and you literally just be okay with it. Your arm could get you out that street.
Oh, no. See, look, I'm not talking about me. Oh no,
I was using you as an example. I know how you. Moses' burliness can get him out the streets. I'll use someone else as an example. All of you are blessed with gifts. That was my point. Not just you, literally everyone in the world. There is no one insignificant in this world. Everybody has something they could use.
Hey, Mike, Big Mike, anything for Tajon Fox?
And I think Coach definitely touched on it, you know, and that definitely the younger guys have to understand that, you know, it's more positive things that you can think of doing than to feed into the negativity. Because again, there's so many other things that you can do. Like you say, doing something different. I mean, you know, if we left the streets bad, then, you know, this generation could come along and turn things around. Don't just follow in the same footsteps that everybody else has followed in. Just try to pave some different footsteps. Try to walk a different route. And talking to your friends. Y'all can talk about some different things. But I tell you, you know, picking up these guns is definitely not the answer. And there's more positive things that you could be doing than to focus on the negative stuff that other people are doing. But at least try to get your circle right. If you get your circle right, and then the other guys you put into your circle, all y'all start doing something different without focusing on the negativity that's going on in the community. And that means you ain't no better than us.
Right. So I'm gonna encourage everybody. And Tajon, we just talking to you, man. Just, you know, just having a conversation. Nobody's nobody's pointing fingers and, you know, doing all that good stuff, man.
Yes, sir, I know.
Okay. So, I mean, I would encourage you that, Tajon, really. I'd like to work with you personally, bro. Me and Mr. Stanley, is you know.
Let's work.
Let's do it, bro. In junction with Coach Wade. Because this is what we need to do, guys. We need to be the ones. We need to advocate and change for our communities, all right? As you can see, as I said, you know, systematic and systemic ways. Dude, I grew up in Kentland. I mean, you know, dude, we all grew up in the hood. You dig what I'm saying? So the thing about it is we have to, again, change that mindset so we can, you know, make sure that we can remove ourselves, all right? And I'm going to tell you right now, just like you just said, I mean, you know, some folks feel like they got to care for protection. That's their mindset. It's because, man, they don't have opportunities. It's because, I mean, the system has not allowed the resources to get to those areas, okay? All right? So to be for real, I mean, you know, a lot of neighborhoods, they're going to have more police interaction. They're going to have a less quality education for that same reason, Tajon, the same mindsets, okay? So that's why we have to do it for ourselves, for our families. And man, you know, and then we got to give back to that community, bro. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth. As soon as the first place I turn to when we start giving back resources is the Kentland, Columbia Park, Palmer Park. That was my stomping grounds. That's first and foremost.
No matter what.
What's that?
I said no matter what.
No matter what. That might be my only stop. I hope I run out. I hope when I go over there, man, I run out of everything. When the United Way give me a call or shoot me an email or throw me some resources, man, I'm like Robin Hood. I take from the white man, I drive right back down to Kentland, Palmer Park. That's my stop. You dig what I'm saying? So listen, this is what we have to do. We have to make our structure stronger. All right? And the way we have to do it, fellas, is by getting ourselves economically out of this situation. That's another conversation. But it starts and ends with economics, guys. We have to do it, man. We got to work. We have to have the mindsets to provide. We just can't be no lazy dude sitting around smoking and drinking all day long, having a bunch of kids. Hey, listen, we got to do it, man. It's the mindset. It has to change. Anybody else? We're going to go ahead and wrap up. I told Mr. Stanley we'll be here till 1 o'clock. He's going to charge me overtime if I keep him too long. Anybody else jump in? Let's go.
Don't be scared.
I'm trying to see how I can be a part of the Jacob Lattimore.
Hey, let's do it, man. Listen, man. Look. I don't know how to, man. I can do a whole lot of things when come down all this Zoom, and I can't even I can't even type all chat messages and everything else. I can give you my information right now. I give you my cell number. Coach Wade can give it to you. I don't care how we do it. Hey, look, fellas, we got to do it, man. We got to lock arms and do this thing. All I need to know
trying to join too.
Let's go. Listen. All I need to know is what y'all want to do, man. And let's go have at it, bro. I'm telling y'all, man, the sky's the limit.
Culture.
You what?
I want to change my community culture, like change the community a little bit.
Let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it. Look, I'm gonna give you. You want me to? How you want my information? Want me to give it to you now, or could Coach send it?
Right
Coach,
now, I can get it right now.
You put it in the chat, Coach. I'm gonna put it out loud. Coach can probably type all that stuff, man. Listen, I'm gonna give you my cell number first, then I'm gonna give you my email. However you want to hit me.
I'm ready.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cell number is 240.
Said 202?
240.
240.
691.
691.
36.
36.
19.
19.
You want my email? You just want the cell? That's good.
Cell good.
All right.
I'm gonna shoot you a text right now.
No. Let's do it professional. Let's be professional.
Email.
All right.
Yes,
You
sir.
ready? The email is life, like, LIFE, life.
Any capitals?
Nah, you can put them all lowercase. Life. At the THE Jacob's Ladder. That's JACOBS Ladder, like a dude climbing a ladder. LADDER.org. Jacob's Ladder, just like this, spelled just like that.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this. You can reach out to me. I encourage you. Hey, look, hold me accountable. I sat up here and talked to y'all about being accountable. Hold me accountable. Hit me. All right? And let's see. When you say, hey, Mr. J, I'm ready to make a change. Hey, meet me at Columbia Park Elementary at 4 p.m. I'm going to be there at 3:50. I want to see what time you're going to be there. All right? Hold me accountable. All right? I'm going to challenge y'all. Hey, let's make this a personal challenge. Hold me accountable, and let's make this thing happen. I'm feeling this. Hey, Mike Stanley. Hey, you want to give them your information too, or they can go through me, whatever you want, bro.
Yeah, that's fine. They can go through you.
All right. And we do it together.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Well, hey, what's up? What else? Anything else? Anybody else got something you want to get off your chest? I think Tajon's scared.
No, I don't know about that.
Why do you think I'm scared for?
Hey, look.
What do you think I'm scared for?
I'm just messing with you, man. Hey, listen. All seriousness, I appreciate Coach Wade for putting this together, organizing it. And we can, Coach Wade, we can talk further, man. We can get together a little bit more frequently. I mean, this is what Mike Stanley and I do. We have a lot of other guests that can come on and talk about a whole lot of other, different topics.
Yes, sir.
But look, hey fellas, I'm serious, man. We got to stop wasting time, man. And we got to get for real. We got to get serious. We got to do these things for yourselves, for your families, future generations, your community, all that good stuff, man. We got to stop wasting time. The time is now. And we got to close all these gaps we got going on because Black community suffering, man. And we're suffering because of so many educational, economic, equity gaps. We got way too many gaps that we need to close. And we got to get serious. And white folks ain't going to, look, they ain't even going to try to help until we start showing that we serious. All right? Hey, Big Mike, close us out, man.
Again, I'd just like to thank everyone, especially Coach Wade. I think you're doing a wonderful job with those young men. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I just want to encourage everyone and to thank Jacob's Ladder, Jerriel Jordan, for allowing me to interact with you all today. And I just want to encourage you to keep your head up. No matter how bad it looks, keep your head up. No matter how difficult it looks, keep your head up and stay plugged in with someone positive. It's not as bad as it appear to be, and just keep the line of communications open. And when you find someone doing something bad that's in your circle, I'm saying just slide away from them, because in the long run, you're going to be glad you did. I just want to thank everyone. I had a wonderful time. Look forward to doing it again.
Coach Wade.
Hey, Mr. Jordan, Mr. Stanley, thank you all both for coming and joining our guys today. That was a phenomenal session. Tajon, Moses, Nigel, thank you for the interaction. Great job speaking up. I think we got some positive things for our community here today. I want to really impress upon you guys to get involved and do these things that you're talking about. I've seen y'all get 10,000, 15,000 follows on a video on YouTube. So I don't think that there's anything you can't do. If you want to see the change in these communities, it starts with you all. It starts with young people. There is nothing to be afraid of. One of the things that really set me off was when one of y'all said, what can we do? You can do whatever you set your mind to, and you got resources now. Mr. Jordan is one of the most known people in the county. Contact him. You got his personal information, whether it be a march, whether it be a Stop the Violence rally, whether y'all want to do a food drive, a gun collection drive. I don't know. We can talk about it, but be that change. Stop being okay with other people's reality and making it yours. Y'all can make this community whatever you want. We can make this community whatever we want.
Let's make it happen, fellas. Let's make it happen. Tajon already hit me. Yeah. Hey, we good, Coach. If we don't have anything else, yeah, bro. We don't have anything
one
else.
thing I need, Mr. Jordan. Guys are gonna be real mad at me because I didn't do this earlier. Guys, can I get the pledge before we leave, please? Anybody mind that? Uh-oh. We got these just scared. Here we go. I'm a king.
I'm a king.
King.
That sounds horrible. Let's try that again. I'm a king.
I'm a king.
I protect the brand and strive for greatness.
I protect the brand and strive for greatness.
I set the foundation for those who follow.
I set the foundation for those who follow.
I face adversity and overcome obstacles.
I face adversity and overcome obstacles.
I am royalty.
I am royalty.
All right, Mr. Jordan, I'll let you take us out. I believe we're done for the week. We're done for the week, fellas.
Hey, man, again, just thanks for everything, you know. Hey, y'all continue, seriously, man, to, you know, do what you're supposed to do. You know, y'all know right from wrong, old enough to make right decisions. That's what the topic was today. And you heard from Mr. Stanley, he poured into you all, gave his testimony, all right? Hey, look, man, everybody, just stay, you know, stay blessed, stay healthy, and stay safe. Until next time, just, you know, we'll talk.
All right.
Thank y'all for talking to us.